Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our bursary program webinar for the 2023-2024 intake. If you're like me and feeling a bit flabbergasted that it's May already, this year, as usual, is flying by at the rate of knots. We've got a few more people joining, so I'm just going to let them in as in the next few minutes, and then we'll get started. I think what I'll do while we're waiting for people to file in, just to introduce our speakers for today, we've got Julie Borland, who heads up our PAMSA research unit. She does a lot of work behind the scenes, working on the bursary program and the research projects with the students. We've got Nelson Safara from the SAPI Technology Centre in Pretoria. Ntokozo Makubo, she's a previous student through the program, and she's going to be sharing her experience. She's now working with SAPI. We've got Valeska Klutter from Impact Research Lab, who'll be joining us shortly, along with Sonia Bossoff and Matlogonono Mafela, both of whom are working through and with Impact on their studies and their work. We've got Ralph Niebuhr from Mondi, South Africa, and Eddie Barnard, who also is working with Mondi, and they'll also be sharing some insights and their experiences. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. So welcome to the webinar. We really appreciate the time. We're going to keep it short and snappy. Please, if you want to drop a question in the chat section, please do clap hands, raise thumbs up to speakers. It'll be great to just have some interaction. And I'm going to just start the session off with a video, just a little introduction that'll get us going.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for participating in the webinar today. Today, we're going to introduce you into a world of possibilities where you can join a sector that underpins sustainability and contributes to the low carbon economy. In the pulp and paper sector, we're able to harness the potential of trees and produce fiber-based products that have been described as the ultimate renewable. And by supporting our young engineers and developing your skills, we're going to be able to turn products of imagination into real world innovation. So this is a very exciting opportunity for everyone. And Samantha, if we could show the bursary opportunities. We offer a bursary each year to graduates or students that are in their final year of study, so that they can pursue a master's in chemical engineering that focuses on the bioeconomy, biotechnology within the pulp and paper sector. And for that, we will be paying a bursary amount of 160,000 rand each year for a full 2 years of study towards a master's degree. And this will cover your costs for registration and living expenses. Our applications are available on our website and can be submitted up until the end of June, following which we'll shortlist down to candidates that will be requested or offered interviews that will take place in August. And this will be for studies that commence in 2023. We have a few criteria for the selection process. If we could go to the next slide, please, Samantha. We're looking for students that achieve or will achieve no less than 60% in their final year, that you have completed your degree in no more than 5 years, and that your university entrance conditions for bursary will be met. It's a full 2 years time of study at the universities that are part of our program. And the projects that are selected are projects that are useful for the sector, but will be discussed and agreed with the successful candidate. Once you've successfully completed your master's, you pay back your 2 years' time by working with an industry partner for 2 years as an engineering training. So these are very good opportunities for further development in the field of chemical engineering within the pulp and paper sector. Thank you, Samantha.
Just a little bit about PAMSA and what we do. So PAMSA was established in 1992, actually as an education and training unit and in support for the pulp and paper sector. Today, it represents 90% of paper packaging, and pulp and tissue manufacturers. Our members are seen here alongside Coruscant, Kimberly-Clark, Mondi, Impact, Neopak, Sappi, Twinsaver. These are companies that make products that we use every single day. I dare you to try and go paperless for just 1 day, even half an hour. You won't succeed. So today, PAMSA represents the action areas and advocacy of our members, and it's mutual pre-competitive issues. So it's not about pricing, it's not about product, it's all around interacting with government and stakeholders around climate change, carbon tax, water, waste, and energy, and really just looking after the interests of the sector and ensuring that as a sector we remain sustainable, we remain relevant, and we remain productive. As I mentioned, wood, pulp, and paper are part of every day, and so PAMSA promotes the sector's contribution to our economy and to our society. And we also promote the fact that wood and paper are renewable. And by this, I mean that wood and paper, they come from farmed trees in South Africa. You'll see plantations all over KZN and in Mpumalanga, and often Limpopo, and even in the Eastern Cape, where these trees are farmed, just like we farm millies for our cornflakes. And we farm these trees for the purposes of wood fiber, which then goes into making pulp and various other products, as well as paper and paper packaging and tissue. And then, of course, fiber is recyclable and made into new products. So it's such an exciting sector. You'll hear from our speakers shortly. And, you know, there's huge mills in our country, in Mpumalanga, in Richards Bay, in Gauteng, and it really is an exciting industry to be part of.
Wood. We use it every day. In our homes, it holds up the roof. It bolsters the sofa. We walk on it, eat at it, we play with it. In paper, it keeps our to-do lists and colors our birthdays, dispatches the news and holds words we love to read. It carries our coffee and cushions our belongings, protects our pizza, keeps juice and milk fresh. It wipes our tears and mops up our messes. It's an artist's blank canvas, a fresh, clean start. Paper, easy to recover and recycle, for reuse in 1,000 different ways. And the wood that makes paper? It's sustainably grown, renewable, specifically planted, harvested and replenished to preserve and conserve. Together, wood and paper provide careers and livelihoods for thousands: foresters and environmentalists, researchers, machine operators, engineers and recycling collectors. Responsibly produced wood and paper products enrich our lives, make our jobs easier, and our world more sustainable. Wood, paper, renewable, recyclable, remarkable.
Well, I'm going to hand over to Nelson Safara from SAPI Technology Center. SAPI Technology Center is in Pretoria, and Nelson's going to share the industry commitment to research and how SAPI supports students. Over to you, Nelson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a couple of slides really just to re-emphasize the message that you'll hear today. All the PAMSA members will speak with passion about wood and how wood transforms our life into products that we use on a daily basis, but also looking at how the industry can fund projects and students so that they can evolve into future products. So what you see there is really an industry that is sustainable. We have a passion about wood, and more so we're passionate about the polymers that are present in wood that we want to convert into future products. I think it's all common knowledge now that we use a lot of fossil fuel-based products on a daily basis, whether it's plastics or polymers or fuel and pharmaceuticals that are derived from oil and from coal. And we believe that there's a lot of exciting opportunities for wood, and I'll share with you guys some of this stuff that we want you guys to be a part of in future to help us raise this wood resource to become a platform chemicals for the future, which, as you've heard from Sam, that this is a renewable product which we can replant and recycle, and it's got a lot of wonderful opportunities that we can't realize with fossil fuels. We hear a lot about plastics and the cost that plastics have on our environment. We love them because they perform certain functions, but a lot of the products from oil are non-renewable, and some of them are not even recyclable, rather biodegradable. So we need to look at opportunities for paper, and I think paper around the world, people are looking for a lot of new and sustainable products that can be scalable, that can offer alternatives to non-renewable products. And I think paper offers us a wonderful opportunities in various applications. We know about paper-based packaging products that whether simple container boards that are made from wood, and those perform unique applications in our everyday life. But the wonderful thing about that is that it is made from a renewable resource, and we can replant them to ensure a sustainable future. We currently, as members of PAMSA, transform wood fiber differently from different companies. And this is some of the things that you will see on a day-to-day that you use. We take wood and we make packaging solutions, and there's a lot of work across all the members to make dissolving pulp and convert that pulp into high-value products such as nanocellulose. You know, we make paper that is used in various applications, specialty paper, whether it's simple labels that label products or small packages that are used in our everyday life. Of course, all of us do interface with printing paper, whether it's in our offices or at home. We print and write on Rotadream or Typeck, which are the two brands that are made here locally by both SAPI and Mondi. But also, some of you guys might not know, but the industry is evolving into making biochemicals, future chemicals that are based from wood fiber and wood polymers. And of course, we do also make bioenergy from our products. The lignin that we extract from our pulping process goes into actually producing energy for not only for our mills, but also it feeds into the grids to support the energy needs for South Africa. So why are we talking about? I mean, you're familiar with these products here. We want you to join us. We want to fund you. We want the clever scientists that are coming out of the university to help us evolve beyond this and make a whole new range of products, biochemicals, and different opportunities that come from wood fiber. And here's an example. As I mentioned earlier, we work with a whole range of polymers, whether it's biopolymers and different types of polymers, whether it's PVCs or polyethylene or whatever. These are polymers that are predominantly made from oil-based products. You will not believe it, but there's a lot of work that's happening within the industry, not just here in South Africa, but there's a lot of innovation that's happening now in our industry, where we want to look at how we can make wood fiber, wood biopolymers to perform the same platform chemicals that is performed by oil. So take this cellulose and do some work to change it into a whole range of opportunities that can finally evolve into replacing oil-based PVC to making bio-based products which are originating from wood. So this is what with the future we're looking for, and this is where we want to, us in the industry, to help support you guys to join us on this journey to in future have products, our everyday plastics and products that are made from renewable biomass instead of from oil and from coal. So this is what I would like you guys to take with that today. We want you guys to join us. We believe that the future of chemicals will come from wood, and we say that with pride, and we want you guys to consider us for a master's opportunity in future, so that you can become part of this exciting journey for us. So yeah, that's all from my side. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Nelson. I really appreciate that. So just pop your questions into the chat box, and then we can keep the ball rolling. I'm going to hand over to Ntokozo Makubo. Ntokozo, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ntokozo Makubo, and today I'll be talking about the value of doing your master's. So before we get into that, I just want to talk about a little bit about myself. I'm currently doing my engineer in training program at SAPI. Prior to this, I did my undergrad studies in chemical engineering at WITS. Thereafter, I did my master's at NWU with my research based at SAPI Technology Center. My master's project, to summarize it into 2 words, was basically enzymatic refining. So refining is basically a process that alters the morphology of the fibers to increase fiber bonding and to produce the desired paper properties. However, the disadvantage of refining is that it requires a huge amount of energy. So my project, we investigated the use of enzymes, not only to reduce the energy consumption associated with refining, but also to improve the fiber and pulp properties. So basically, this is just to show you the image of a typical pilot refiner. This is the one that I used at SAPI Technology Center. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what's the value of you doing your master's. So for me, I can summarize this into 3 main points. The first one is that it deepens and expands your knowledge in a field that you are passionate about. So in your undergraduate level, there are many study fields that are not available. So pursuing your master's will allow you to do something that you love and develop a level of expertise in that particular field. Secondly, it also expands your professional network. So as a PAMSA master student, you'll be able to work closely with several industry experts during your 2 years, allowing you to form solid relationships with those people and also to basically grow your professional network. This is definitely crucial because it's crucial as you are beginning your professional career. Last point is that you are able to gain real-world experience. So the program will allow you to combine your academic theory with professional practice. You will have hands-on experience, which will allow you to develop the necessary skills that are needed in the workplace. This ensures that you are prepared for the workforce upon your graduation, basically making you an attractive candidate in the job market. So yeah, on top of that, with the PAMSA Bursary, you're able to get your EIT, as Julie mentioned in the beginning. So basically, that's all for me. Thank you for listening.
Next up is Valeska and Sonia. I'll ask you to put your cameras on, please. I think I forgot to remind the other speakers, but put your cameras on and share your screen so that we can see you, if you don't mind. And then we'll get going. So over to you, Valeska. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Samantha. Let me just share my screen quickly. Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk a little bit about R&D. I'm going to give a little bit of background about impact first, and then touch on some of the key aspects or the key roles that an engineer can play within impact, and give you a little bit of an example that was an exciting journey for us as innovators within the business.
Take, make, dispose. That's how a linear economy works. It's not how we work. We believe that what we make should be collected, recycled, and made again. It's good business that's good for the environment, good for the economy, good for our communities, and good for the world, leading the way towards a circular economy. Impact.
So Impact is the largest paper and plastics packaging company and recycling business in Southern Africa. And our integrated business model is uniquely focused on closing the loop, as I just mentioned, both in terms of plastic and paper packaging through recycling and beneficiation of recyclables. We operate in 3 countries in Southern Africa, namely South Africa, Namibia, and Mozambique. We're a level 1 BBBEE company, and we have 44 sites across South Africa with just more than 5,000 employees. At Impact, we differentiate ourselves through the people who work for us, and that is really underpinned by our values and our purpose. Our values being resolute, trustworthy, and responsible. And we are driven by our purpose of providing our customers with innovative, sustainable packaging, giving effect to the circular economy through our integrated business model, and making a difference in the communities in which we operate. Innovation is a cornerstone of our business, and we use it to build and maintain systems of a sustainable competitive advantage based on innovation, research and development, and technical support, so that Impact and our customers can be successful. In our innovation team specifically, we are a team of critical thinkers, and we focus specifically on solving real-world problems for our business from a fundamental point of view. This includes various aspects in the core business of Impact that would include root cause analysis, closing the loop on materials, both in terms of the primary products that we produce as well as byproducts from our manufacturing process. We also focus on food safety, and this is especially important if we look at the circular economy and the reuse of materials in packaging. We look at new product development and the development of systems to enhance the product quality for consumers. And then if you move towards the white space in terms of the canvas in which we operate, we also look at the development of new technology for our industry. And in all these spaces, there's a role for the research engineer as well. So if we look specifically at career opportunities for engineers in our business, the starting point, having come from academics, is often to start out as a research engineer, where one would have the opportunity to work on sustainability projects, new concept development, and root cause analysis. In this context, we also encourage our research engineers to gain exposure at our plants so that their ideas can be anchored in the real world in which we operate. Beyond that, engineers have the opportunity to then also work as process engineers at our plants in a manufacturing environment. They can then also pivot towards becoming project engineers when they have enough experience built up over years. And that becomes especially exciting if we look at new developments, which you can then become part of the process of conceptualizing it, designing it, and implementing it in the business. From there, there's the opportunity to have a more senior role in the business, either in terms of technical management or then business management. And if we look at the typical technical management roles in our business, it includes looking at technical services in the business, production management, engineering management, looking at maintenance management on our plants, technology development management, as well as product management. And then ultimately you would move towards the more commercial roles or the general management within our business. This can all sound very far from your world if you come from an academic environment, and I therefore thought that it would be good to share an example of a successful project that we completed at the beginning of last year. And it really captures in a lovely way how engineers form part of the process from concept development through to having the commercial plant operating on a daily basis. So Deliso Holdings is a business where Impact has a minority shareholding. Our business partners are Deliso Chemicals. They are black industrialists that we partnered with, and we developed a solution with them for the beneficiation of one of our byproducts at one of our plants. Because of changes in market conditions, we had to look at beneficiating the salt cake product that came from our digester process so that it can become a viable product that we can sell into different markets. And so the concept development happened with research engineers working within my team, which is the Impact Innovation team of the business, where we looked at concept development based on fundamental principles so that we can be sure that what we want to put forward is based on sound science. From there, the research engineer then became part of a technical team that worked with a project engineer and collaborated with an engineering house to develop the technology so that it can be implemented. A more senior role for a project engineer would then be becoming the actual project engineer that is part of the process of the construction of the plant as well as the commissioning. And then the end role of that would be in terms of the management of the plant to ensure that the process is optimized on a daily basis. This is a plant that is in Mpumalanga and a very real example of the different roles that an engineer can fulfill within the pulp and paper industry. Interestingly enough, here we're not making paper, but we're making high purity sodium sulfate. It's the first plant in South Africa that makes this at such a high purity level, and it is sold in the detergents and the glass industry. So it also shows how one can pivot into other industries even though you're anchored in the paper industry specifically. This is really what I wanted to share. I'll be keeping my eye on the chat line as well if there are any questions. Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk to you today.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sonia Bosov. I am currently working as a process engineer at Impact Felixton. We are situated close to the coast. We take recycled fiber as you recycle your boxes at home, and we make brand new paper. So how my journey started with Impact is after I did my undergraduate at the Northwest University, I took a gap year, and after my gap year, I got accepted to do a master's at Stellenbosch. My master's was sponsored by Impact, which was lovely for a broke student at that point in my life. My project involved the valorization of waste for biofuels production. And at the end of my 2 years, I was able to not only submit my master's, but also publish a paper. And all in all, just gather great range of skills, both from the university and being in contact with the industry that we were taking around during our studies. So after my studies, I was lucky enough to work for Valeska in Stellenbosch as a research engineer. I continued the work on waste valorization, where we looked at various options to convert waste into energy. After quite some time in Stellenbosch and doing really what I loved, I felt like it was time for a good change. And Impact is really well situated for yourself to branch out into various categories, into various branches. I mean, we have not just paper, we have plastics, we have recycling, we have corrugated, and then within all of those divisions, we have different types of jobs for a chemical engineer. So the one that I then ended up going for is now a process engineer. My day consists of liaising with contractors. I get to build stuff, I get to test stuff, I get to troubleshoot, and all in all, I was very lucky for my journey with Impact to start where it did. It's good to have the opportunity to have a work back commitment. It really is. In this day and age, you really can't argue with getting job experience, getting work experience. So that was great. It was a good support from the company. And I mean, it's 7 or 8 years later, and I'm still with Impact. So that must speak of a good company in itself as well. So all in all, from my side, I was just grateful for the opportunity. I got to study a good degree, being sponsored, and now sit within an industry, as everyone has shared, that's really, really responsible, trying to not just look after the budget and the wallets, but also look after the environment. So that's it from my side.
Hello everyone, my name is Mahlagonolo Mafela and I am doing my second year of Masters at Stellenbosch University. I am currently working on a project that focuses on the prediction of moisture content of pulp in a paper machine in an effort to save energy. So it's where I'm hoping to build a statistical predictive model. I have always been interested in studying energy conservation and optimization strategy, and this opportunity has allowed me to do just that. One of the main reasons that I applied is that you are given the option, when you're applying for the opportunity, you're given the option to choose the field of process engineering that you're most interested in. So during my master's, I got the chance to work with people that have different perspectives in engineering and other fields of study. I have tried to incorporate everything that I've learned so far in my own career. The whole team is supportive and encouraging. And the good thing about it is that you're never without guidance, and there's always something to learn. There are new skills that you can always learn that you're going to incorporate in the workforce. So I was actually doing my practicals a few weeks back, as is the case for all PAMSA students. And that's where I got introduced to more people and got to learn many skills that were not only beneficial to my project, but also new skills that I'll get to incorporate when I enter the workforce. So these are just a few pictures of me during that time when I was doing my practicals. I was running a few tests for my project, but I also got the chance to actually work on a lot more than that, and I was able to get insight into the industry and how everything works. So the truth is, the whole thing is challenging at first because you don't even know that much about the project that you're about to do for 2 years, and you're probably going to panic a few times, especially if you move to a new town where you don't know anyone. But you have the opportunity to make new friends with other students that are also being funded by PAMSA. And there are also senior PAMSA students that will help you navigate and, you know, just try to figure out some stuff that you may be confused by. And there are also introductory courses that you get to do when you start your master's, and that's where you can also get the chance to make new friends. So it was really helpful to have senior PAMSA students that were there to guide me and actually introduce me to other people that I can always go for whenever I was confused. So it's important for you to make friends, make sure that you introduce yourself to other people, and just make sure that you help other people as well. Because as much as it is important for you to meet those deadlines, you also need to socialize. I'm really looking forward to working with more people, and I really hope you guys consider doing your masters with PAMSA. Thank you.
So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ralph.
Great, so the audio is fine. So yes, thank you for the time that you guys made available for us to join. So just by way of introduction, my name is Ralph Nieboer. I am the L&D Manager Technical from Mondi, South Africa, currently based in Mondi, Richards Bay. So yes, who and what is Mondi? So quick overview of Mondi. Let me share a slide with you so I can just bring you on to par as to what Mondi does. I trust you guys can all see it. So yes, so I work for Mondi, and you've mentioned or you heard about the name Eddie. So Eddie will also share a bit of his work experience. So let's talk about Mondi. So at the moment, if I can just find the right one there. So Mondi is currently a global leader in pulp and packaging, and it's an international company. We do have something in the region of about 26,000 employees, over 100 operations across 30 different countries. Yes, we have more than 100,000 solutions for our customers, mainly on the pulp and paper sections and so forth. We currently have 2.4 million hectares of forestry managed. We do have a group office in Joburg, but the bigger offices is in London and Vienna. Primary listing is on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and also limited for Mondi. Again, we also premium listed on the London Stock Exchange and also for Mondi PLC. So if we look on our global footprint, again, yes, Mondi was a South Africa based, or it started in South Africa and not even far from where I'm currently at, so in the Richards Bay area, KZN. But at the moment, our biggest footprint is in Europe. And just a quick overview, if you can see where it sits. So yes, we are still within Africa, but the key focus at the moment with our operations sit in Europe. If we go back to Mondi, South Africa, we do have 4 forestry areas, excuse me, mainly focusing on the KZN area and also in Mpumalanga. 2 mills, one is in Richards Bay and the other one is in Merebank. And in South Africa, we are almost about 1,500 employees. What makes Mondi unique is that we do have a closed value chain. In other words, from our side, we do have our own forests, which we plant and harvest, which we then take to our operations. Predominantly goes to Richards Bay, where we do chip and pulp the wood to create the products that we have here. So our products in Richards Bay is typically Bay White and Bay Sal. So all of you guys having gone into hopefully fruit and veggie to buy fruit for healthy living, most of the boxes that you will get your fruit in comes from our mill. We also have our pulp, which we produce here, and we then send to the Mondi Merebank operation, which they then rework and typically make the rototrim paper, which most of you guys hopefully use in your printers for Mondi rototrim. So those are mainly our products that we do here. And yes, I want to talk to you a bit more about the opportunities that come once you've completed the master's. So up until now, you've been introduced and you heard about the research opportunities and why we want to do the research opportunities and so forth. But the question is, what happens once you've completed 2 years and have obtained your master's? One of the speakers previously indicated that the important doorstep for anybody that goes to studies or in achieving a qualification is entry into employment. So the great news here is if you are selected as a Mondi student and a bursar and you do your master's research, you are then further incorporated into the organization as an engineer in training for further 2 years. Now, this is where your learning actually starts and where your future then as an engineer takes place. So we do offer a 2-year engineering training program. It is aligned to the EXA requirements. In other words, it looks at professional registration further down the line, and it touches on 4 aspects. So it's all about the identification of problems, coming up with solutions of these problems. Then the second part is to execute. In other words, what were the solutions to the problems, and let's see if we can execute them. These typically then relate to projects. which is then a formal that you compile, you then present to the different forums. And if the project that you propose is accepted, you then have an opportunity to lead a team and implement the project. This all happens still as an EIT in the organization. So you grow as you carry on. So yes, you are not let loose into the organization. Every EIT that joins the industries, you will be allocated a mentor that will stay for you or with you for the duration of the program, typically 2 years. But during the period of 2 years, on our side, you will rotate through the different departments. In other words, you will get a holistic view of the operations. So you have a full understanding of what happens from the logs that come into the shipyard up until the paper that we put into our warehouses. So typically on our side, and what I've seen, and our previously guys can attest to that, is during the 18 months that you've completed it, we already start to see if there are possibilities for permanent and future employment. And then that is the next step that is onto your career. So you've completed a master, you've entered an engineering training program, and then you also have an opportunity to enter full-time employment into the organizations in engineering. Again, we have 2 different routes that we can offer. Production management or process management with regards to the engineering disciplines. One is aligned more to the leadership and management career paths. The other one is more specific technical, and it is aligned to people that more want to become specialists. So currently we do have 5 chemical engineers in training in our operation, of which 2 of them are actually ex-graduates from the research programs. Eddie is one of them, and he will share that with you. We then also currently have further 3 BSc or BEng mechanical engineers in our operation, and another electrical/electronics engineer. So at the moment, we do have also other EITs in the organization. And again, if I can just close, what I wanted to share with you guys is this is only an opportunity that comes from having you completed the masters into an EIT program, with a further opportunity and a possibility for employment into our engineering disciplines, and again, as process engineers or production engineers, and further development. So yeah, I do not have that much time to share and spend with everybody of you, but yeah, feel free to ask any questions should you have any. Thank you. Eddie, if I can then maybe just hand over to you, and I think you can share with us some of your work experience. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Not sure if I'm visible. Hopefully you can see my presentation as well as my face.
We can do that. We can certainly hear you and see you and see your presentation. Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks. Right, so quickly background. I finished my undergraduate studies at Tuks, and then through this bursary, I got the opportunity to also study at Stellenbosch and then complete this nice master's degree. Ralph mentioned after 2-year EIT contract, you get employed. So hopefully we can discuss this afterwards. But if I work 16-hour shifts, do we half that of that period? So just quickly again, process engineering versus production engineering. Thinking back to my final year, I didn't have a clue. But the difference is what a chemical engineer does on the daily. So process engineering focuses on medium to long-term projects, more on the technical side. So you focus on upgrades to existing equipment, optimization of process control. You do preliminary engineering. I'm not sure if you can see the drawings behind me. That's a recovery boiler rebuild we did in the last year's annual shut. And then on production engineering side, you focus more on the daily operations, short-term projects, management, like Raul said. So that includes troubleshooting when equipment fails. Then, of course, resource management, so that you align production and maintenance teams in order to get the quick fix solutions. And then, of course, most important, to ensure that production targets are reached daily. So quickly, what this opportunity gives, it gives you a chance to work in a global industry. It's fast growing as well. I mean, every one of us hopefully has the idea of making money while also being sustainable and eco-friendly. And then as engineers, we don't see this as a job. We see this as a career. We really want to add value. I think all of us wanted to study instead of just going work, because we want to add more to society. And doing a master's degree, you definitely build skills, both technical and more on soft skills, such as time management, people skills, stuff like that. And then you can come apply that in industry and hopefully make some money. Also along the way, you'll meet fantastic people and sometimes not so fantastic people. Hopefully from all of them, you can be inspired or learn some valuable life lessons. Next up, I just wanted to show the difference between studying, doing lab work and the industry. As you can see, the sheer scale is quite different. So there's Old Reliable there at the top left. That's my life in Stellenbosch. I made composite materials, high density composite materials from paper waste. When on a good day, I made about 24 of these samples. So that's roughly around 4 kilograms materials processed daily. At Mondi, we aim to produce 2,500 tons per day of pulp and paper products in Richards Bay. That translates to roughly 5,000 tons per day of wood chips used, as well as around 60,000 cubes of water daily. So just on the at the bottom there, that's some of our pulp storage tanks, which is 10,000 cubes. That's 10 million liters. You have a hydrogen gas holder, and then a side view of, again, of our storage tanks, some of our pulping facilities, fuel storage tanks, and then some of the acid tanks that we replaced during last year's annual shut. Yeah, so the pulp and paper industry isn't just people taking wood and making paper. There's a lot of other processes involved, other auxiliary systems. For instance, power production, steam generation, chemical self-sufficiency, stuff like that. So just quickly, don't want to scare anyone with details. The first project I did when I got to Mondi was upgrade of a degassing line on a pulping pump to prevent pulp losses, as that image shows on the left. After implementation of the project, pulp losses went down to basically zero, and that resulted into pocket change of R500,000 of savings per year. Additionally, I think my favorite project thus far is a catalyst dosing point for our chlorine dioxide production plant. Adding this catalyst will eventually result in minimization of reagent usage, and that promises to save Mondi 12 to 15 million rand per year. Of course, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, at least we're engineers. So I just want to tell everyone that there is also opportunity to play. So as you can see, I am biased to nature. But if you're into drinking wine, going to Stellenbosch is a great place. And then moving to Richards Bay, of course, there's a beer drinking community. So there's something for everyone. Yeah, so hopefully through this, you can see that there's a lot of opportunities, and then there's always a good way forward.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. I'm glad you get to play, and yes, I think there's opportunity to see the country if you and work at different mills. I am very aware of our time pressures, so I'm just quickly going to jump into the application process. So if any of this appeals to you, and it's really strikes your interest, please visit our website. Is www.thepaperstory.co.za. Our application form for the Master's Bursary Program is available. The short URL is thepaperstory.co.za/apply. It is a Google Forms application form. You will be required to submit your CV, a one-page motivation as to why you should be considered, your academic transcripts, as well as a letter of reference from your lecturer. So it's advisable if you have these already or before you, so you can upload them to complete your submission. Thank you to everybody, to Julie, obviously, who's the sort of machine behind the program, and to our members and their representatives, Nelson, Valeska, and Ralph. Also to our universities, they also play a huge role. University of Stellenbosch, Wits, Northwest University. I'm going to run out of I've gone blank on my other one, Tux, obviously, at University of Pretoria. So really thank you, and to wherever you are in the country, please stay safe, stay healthy. Things are picking up again in terms of COVID numbers, so just look after yourselves, and really thank you so much. We will have this webinar recording after a few edits available on our website and also on YouTube. So if you want to rewatch it or want to share it with friends, please do. We'd love to get your applications, and yeah, hopefully you are one of the eligible students that joins the PAMSA family and obviously our industry. So really thank you so much for joining us, and we will keep in touch. We are on social media, so also please follow us, and thank you from me and thank you from the team.